IPs that we can think of. What are your thoughts on this entire new leagues, their businesses, and are we really approaching the last mile, so to say, in the big leagues of sports?
My take on this is that it's a sunrise industry, so it's a long way to go. And as far as all the leagues, I think you know, there are many stakeholders in leagues, and what we are seeing is not a very good trend. I'm seeing corporate houses put their best foot forward, put their money where their heart is, and the federations, for example, they need to take a very different role. In the monetization matrix, the federations should be having, you know, the last, not what they can do.
I'll come to BCCI, like, you know.
Oh, actually, no. I was going to say that, you know, sometimes, you know, to answer this question, you're talking about a complete paradigm shift, and probably we should be invoking the name of Gary Packer to change that, because he said, "Why do I need a federation?" So he started something completely revolutionary, but it was backed by significant investments, and you know, it's a demand and supply thing, as you put it. Players saw that there was value in this. Yes, I'm breaking away from my board and going out and playing, but I think that shift is actually taking place. Because today what is happening is that there are several cricketers, you know, for example, Chris Gayle has told his board that he's not going to play a particular form of cricket, because he's looking for his livelihood, can't blame him for that. And he's saying, Test cricket I'm not playing, my body can't take it anymore, so I'm going to play the shorter form. So there is a certain shift that is taking place, and eventually I think this will become, in a way, a self-regulating type of organization, I think, where you don't really need these types of administrators. When we organize ourselves a little better, but to your point also, you know, the real life is we have to live with this, at least the short run. But there are changes that are happening, which will change that also.
So I don't believe we should live with anything. I think, you know, I'm 49, sorry, but the truth. And it's been actually 25 years in sports marketing. And I raised $2 billion for BCCI. I haven't been invited for a cup of coffee till today. When I carry a bid for the team sponsorship, which I've done 3 times, I'm made to wait outside in a line with the office boys. And when the office boy takes my envelope inside. Last time there were 2 bids only, Airtel and Sahara. Both were carried by me. I was made to wait downstairs in the BCCI office. That was a team sponsorship bid, and that's how I was treated. So it's a terrible environment, and I personally believe that the change is now. None of us, you know, look, the average life expectancy in Mumbai is 46.5. So I'm 3.5 years in bonus, you know, so there's not much time left. So I think, realistically, you're long way, bro. I think the change is now, and I think we need to make that change. Look at the privatization that happened at the airport. We all lived with that horrible domestic international airport. Now it's swanky, it's cool, you know. And a private company came and made that change, and all of us now enjoy going to the airport. We even go early now to have a cup of coffee and then take our flights. So I think that change is crucial, and also somewhere down the line there has to be accountability. So the sports minister, what is he doing? Where is his plan? Where are his targets, quarterly, monthly, annually? Why is he not held accountable? The fact of the matter is that we are not actually taking the bull by the horn. And that is depressing, because don't forget that 58% of your population is below the age of 25. That is huge. The biggest asset this nation has is youth. We have the youngest population in the whole world. I mean, they're restless. If you don't give them arenas to play, they're going to go become gangsters, drink, do wrong things. You've got to give them. So when you give an FSI to a builder in Mumbai of 3 lakh square feet, you have to say 50,000 for sporting arena and facilities. Why not? It's an easy way out. We don't do it. We don't really care. So I think the change, to be honest with you, like I said to you, we all went through situations like I was told to stop Masala cricket. So as a team was, you know, I've been through BCCI. I really believe, I mean, you know, Mr. Dalmia.
If I can,
sure.
I can't really speak about the BCCI because I don't deal with them. But on the flip side, Shailendra, and I don't know if Radha will agree, but I hope she does. We've actually had a very wonderful time with the Kabaddi Federation, who have been immensely supportive, have been fantastic guides. Yes, I agree, it was also the first time that you could say Kabaddi was being corporatized in a sense. So there's no database of who the players are or anything. It's completely owned and known by the Kabaddi Federation, but they don't have, and Mr. Gehlot, who's the chairperson, doesn't really have the attitude that, okay, this is something that I'm going to completely control. As far as Kabaddi is concerned and being the team owner, the Kabaddi Federation of India and the International Kabaddi Federation have been very supportive, have been very liberal, have asked us to come up with a model of how they see Pro Kabaddi League. We asked to make it more viewer friendly, to make some changes in the rules, and they were completely with it. I think they had a great amount of foresight to say, okay, this is going to be the future, this is how we take Kabaddi to the next level, and they've been very, very supportive and continue to be. I mean, just to give you an example, I'm sure all of you all have played Kabaddi at some point of time. You all might have noticed that during the Pro Kabaddi League, you couldn't really hear the players saying Kabaddi. It's because when we were doing our trials, we realized that the stadiums are relatively smaller compared to cricketing stadiums, where you have an average seating attendance of about 4,000 people. And it's so loud that the referees and the multiple, they couldn't even hear them saying Kabaddi. And plus, through years and years of training, and they do yoga as well, which is a funny sight to see, 14 burly guys doing yoga every morning. They do pranayama and all this. They can actually say Kabaddi for 2-3 minutes without legally taking a breath. So when we came across this problem, we thought it was one of the USPs was to, to hold your breath and say Kabaddi. So when we couldn't get past that, we put in an idea from actually the NBA, which was like a shot clock. So now the raider that goes into raid has 30 seconds to raid. This is not part of the International Kabaddi Federation. This is a rule which we asked them to change, and it's a major rule. They automatically said, let's do it, it's fantastic. We changed the point system, we put in an extra ball line to get extra points. So they were very open to suggestions to take the sport to a next level. So I can't agree with you all in terms of why do we need federations. In our case, I think the federation has been a guiding light for the Pro Kabaddi League. Look, 50 years down the line, 100 years down the line, I don't know when people, if the Pro Kabaddi League is still around, we all hope so, that it's built up its own bank so that, we don't really need a governing body. But as of right now, in terms of Kabaddi, the Kabaddi Federation has been fantastic. AIFF in football has been very supportive. And as far as the ISL goes, has been very helpful. So I don't entirely agree that why do we need federations. In my two cases, they've been a huge boon to us.
There are certain places, Shailendra, which I agree with Abhishek. You don't want to go there, but it needs to go there, the sport. And that's where the federation does have a role to play. Whether it's soccer, whether it's running, there are certain places a promoter may not want to go. He's driven by a different objective maybe. But if the federation is wearing the right hat, it needs to go there. And that's when I said that they need to invest in building passion and connect.
Who possibly is the owner in both your leagues. Yeah? Globally, if you look at some media rights, almost 45 to 50% of the sporting revenue comes from media rights. Any thoughts on that? I mean, is it changing? Is India going to be possibly the country who will give that change to the world? How do you see that?
Possibly. I don't know many leagues, at least I don't. I'm sure there might be, or where the broadcast actually are part owners as well. But very honestly, the way I look at it is they're putting their money where their mouth is. They have ownership over the league. I think Star was possibly the most influential factor in making Kabaddi as famous as it was because of the kind of work that they did marketing it. They did a great job in football as well. So could this be a positive sign? I hope so. I think time will tell, unfortunately, but we'll have to wait and watch. Till now, we don't have anything negative to say about it, but it could be a trend that could make broadcasters also accountable for the sports as well, as long as they don't make it into a TV show, and maintain the dignity and the competitiveness and the sportsmanship of the sport, and stay true to the sport. I think you're going to be fine.
Point which links back from here, and this one is to you, Venki. I mean, you are possibly the most successful franchise and the league. BCCI we've been talking about, but the fact of the matter is BCCI writes a serious amount of check to the franchises at the end of every IPL season. Would you have any advice, any learnings for the new leagues that are coming up?
So I think what has happened over the last 8 years